Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with Michelle and Matthew to talk about the Challenge USA episode 7. Give me liberty or give me love. How are you doing, Michelle? It's nice to have you back.
Yes, it's nice to have all three of us together. It's good. I'm good. This episode, I forgot to change my name to Michaela Stan because truly, what an icon in this episode. What a shining beacon in this episode from start to finish. I am obsessed with her, as I always was, and it just was a reminder of how much I love her. So that's going to be my positive takeaway from the episode.
Oh, very good. I love the positive takeaway for sure. We haven't heard from Matthew in a little while. Matthew, how have you been? How are you feeling about episode 6? What are your overall thoughts there? We missed you.
Yeah, I missed you guys too. I'm feeling great. I mean, this is my favorite time of the year where like all the reality shows start to come back. We got Challenge back, Survivor's coming back, Big Brother's on, Bachelor in Paradise is coming soon. And I'm a huge football fan, and the NFL season's 2 days away. So I'm just like in a super good mood today. And I'm like, I started giggling when Michelle was talking because as I was like getting ready to join this chat, I was trying to make a picture of Michaela, my background, but I don't technically have a StreamYard account. So it said in order for me to add another background, I had to make an account because I already had the Amanda background.
Well, why don't you remove the Amanda background and just replace it for now?
It just wouldn't let me it wouldn't let me create a second one without making an account. And I was like, you know what? I'll just do it for next week. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. But yeah, obviously super high on Michaela as well. She is like by far the star of the season for me. And what she said this episode really like rang true, where it's like she had all these fans that wanted her to come on the show and succeed. And I'm just like thinking how disappointing it was that she went out first that first season.
100% on the MTV version.
Oh yeah, she could have done damage there if she just like made it through a few weeks. And we're seeing it now. She's just like a star in every way. So really strong Michaela episode.
And she's got some of the guts of a true like OG almost, right? Like she kind of has that grit that you need.
Yeah. I mean, I think she hasn't been jaded to wanting to work with the vets because she knows it's going to give her longevity in her challenge career. So if we take like how she's playing it versus how Michelle's playing it to come on another season, and Michaela's playing it, in my opinion, to win this season. So I'm hoping that Michaela's way will get her to still win and come back. I'm hoping because it seems a little bit like production doesn't like too many people that go against the vets. And so we'll probably talk a little bit more about that as this episode goes on. But Matthew, did we talk to you about whether or not it was rigged or not for Wes?
No, I wasn't here last week for that. I definitely think that there was some funny business going on there. And it wasn't even so much to me that like we didn't see the timer and whatnot. It's that like Bananas and Wes have done this show for 20 years, and even they both thought that Wes lost. So the fact that they were so sure of it is like, all right, something is really weird here. And yeah, I mean, we got an elimination where production could literally just tell us who won, and we would have no idea if they were telling the truth or not. So I do think there was some funny business there. And yeah, I mean, normally I like to believe production is not corrupt. Like with the daggers last year, I was thinking they weren't. But after seeing last week, I'm starting to second guess a few other things where it's like, yeah, maybe there is a little bit of manipulation.
Like how they never show the name on the hopper when he picks out the name.
Yeah,
like, how is the hopper real? Show me any proof that the hopper is real.
Well, now somebody was also debunking the fact that a lot of people are saying that production rigged it for Wes and saying, well, if they wanted to rig it for Wes, they could have just made it a girl's day. So what do you think about that argument?
Well, because I think they needed to have guys' days as well. And also they knew with that elimination that they could make it work no matter what. So they were like, whatever, he can go in.
Yeah, they needed to get some guys out of there. And like, I think Dusty was like very expendable to them because like one, he's like the only amazing racer. Like he's just like a loyal follower. Yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, let's put Wes in and then like make him sweat a little, but like he's coming back. We're not letting him leave this early. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little sus.
Well, some friends joined the chat, and Sophie is shocked that you haven't had having justice for whoever was going to be your name.
So the thing is, like, I love Tiffany, and I loved her this episode. I didn't care for Dusty, but I love Tiffany. But at the end of the day, like, if it's between Tiffany and Michaela, I need Michaela there because she has like that win equity. So yeah. I mean, justice for Amanda still, but, and Alyssa and Tiffany. I love all three of them. The last 3 women to leave have been like stars for me, but yeah, Michaela's here.
So we have some friends joining us. Diva, Kristen, Jessica is with us here. Agreed. I will forever love Michaela. She should be on as many shows as she wants, and I will watch. Loved her forever. Agreed. We were all really disappointed when she went out first, and like she was going up against Michelle, who were still really standing at that time. And so, yeah, it was really unfortunate that Emmy had to have such a big mouth and go and tattle and get her in the bad books. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
We're your favorite reality coverage trio. Well, thank you for being here. That's fun. Willie's here and says they love Michaela a lot because she's smart and she should be a new staple of the challenge. Yeah, staple. Sure, I agree.
I need to see her on a season with Danny though, because the two of them together would just be like unstoppable, and they would not take shit from any of these vets. So like, give me season 40 with Michaela and Danny both there. Honestly, like, throw in Sarah Lucina too. Like, I don't like Sarah, but she also doesn't take shit, and that's a powerful trio. Like Desi, like, give me this Survivor.
So do you basically just want Survivor players playing the challenge now?
Well, the thing is, like, almost all the Survivors have been hits, like in the last 2 seasons.
They've cast them better than they have from other shows. Like, they've picked pretty much. There's obviously some questionable,
like,
but
the Survivor people don't care to follow the vets, like, with the exception of like Sebastian and Michelle. But like, think of all the other ones. Like, if you got Tyson on another season or Tyson on this season, like, he's not gonna follow their every word.
I would have loved Tyson on this season. He would have been so
mouthy.
Yeah, Tyson.
Why did production have to screw them over so badly that he'll never do the show again?
It's so disappointing because I love his takes so much. And I love his podcast anyways. And I would have loved him. But yeah, we know it's never going to happen. And obviously,
I mean, unless he wants to make a paycheck and they at the right price, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
I do think Danny might come back, though.
Danny, I think Danny is closer to coming back than Tyson is.
Yeah.
Sophie is saying that the challenge season 39 is coming in October. I've not heard this yet. Have you heard this, Matthew?
I heard end of October.
Okay.
Well, so October. Yeah, I heard it's just a rumor, but I heard like last week of October. And then that'll take us to, I guess, January.
Hold on. Sophie's got the jokes tonight. Matthew, Casey isn't on this season. That background would be perfect for her.
Yeah, this is Casey. She's I made my background Casey. That was my one background that I could use.
Jokes. Okay. Hi, Glenda is also here. All right. So with this episode, it starts off with Wes deciding to join Blue, of course. Did you guys have any doubt that he would join Team Blue from Green?
No. No brainer.
No brainer. And like, I think I said this to Michelle, but I just need to gloat in front of you, Matthew, is that I do recall saying at the beginning that the angle should be to get all the strongest player on the same teams. And so that if they win together, they're all protected. If they lose, they're still equally as screwed. So just saying that's what they ended up doing.
Something I was thinking of so the episode prior or 2 episodes prior, Desi swapped to Blue. Do you think Desi should have swapped with Tori instead of Alyssa S just to like keep the power on Blue with the rookies? I think that was a slight mistake by Desi.
I agree.
I think it's a slight mistake, but I think that she was still thinking of keeping the team really, really, really strong. And I don't think that she wants them to know that she's like actually actively against them and is like going to be screwing them over internally. So I think that she was trying to do it to keep her cover a little bit. No?
Yeah. I'm sure that's why she was doing it. Like, obviously you just want to be safe yourself, but I think like there would have been that safety if they just disperse like the rookies on different teams and then not give Blue the power of having the vets there.
Who's your sis, Danny? Hi, Danny.
Michaela,
How are
I
you?
assume, right?
Oh, okay, amazing. Oh my god, that would be so good.
Like,
if Danny was on this season, like instead of season 1 or both, I mean, ideally both, that would have just been so incredible. He would have been made for this cast.
Well, if they end up doing like another global thing, like let's say that maybe Michaela wins this thing, because like she's getting a little bit of a winner's edit, I would say.
I don't want to get my hopes up, but I would cry. I would be so happy.
I think I'd want her to win the most out of everybody that's left in this season.
Oh yeah,
definitely out of it. Yeah, I mean, I love Desi as well.
Oh yeah, her or Desi right top two.
Honestly, I'd be happy with Chantele. Sorry,
Chanel.
Chanel.
Thank you.
I'd be happy with Chanel.
Chanel's pretty real as well, and I do love her takes too.
I don't want Michelle,
but they haven't really been showing her very much.
Sorry, Michelle. I mean, she's not as bad as she's not annoying me as much as she can annoy me, but
Cassidy would be okay. I wouldn't be like super pumped, but I would be content with it, I guess.
Oh yeah, I love that you love her. That's so great. So you must be rooting for her for sure from the sidelines. That's awesome. Did you give her any props or anything before she came on the show, being like, "Screw over the bets, don't let Bananas or West tell you what to do"?
Yeah, I feel like some of the like Survivor folk from Global must have, and Global and the first season must have gave them the hints, like, "Hey, like, don't trust these people." I don't think Michaela would have taken their
But they
shit
also
anyways,
like if they watch the show, like they know, like clearly Michaela has seen the show and is a fan enough to like understand the tea, you know? Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, meanwhile, like Dusty's willing to do whatever the vets want, so he's seen the show plenty.
I know, and he's such a fan. Like that's I felt bad that it was like so weirdly not rigged. We don't know.
Well,
because
like
I was
the
like,
production didn't seem to care for him, even though he was obsessed with their favorite.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
There's no way
with Bananas.
Dusty comes back ever, right?
Unless Bananas needed
never.
like
another
number.
Oh,
yeah,
a secret number.
I'm done with Dusty.
Done with Dusty and Dustin. So Wes comes back into the house and he kind of gathers everybody into a room and has a speech asking for everyone to play a fair game and give him a chance. Michelle, you're the biggest Wes stan here. How'd you feel about Wes needing to be given a chance?
I mean, the thing about what he'll always try a different tactic or some of the same tactics. Yeah, like people see through it at this point. I think it's like, you know, I don't know. I still like that he's there. And I even like the kind of weird rivalry between Michaela and him. I'm like, yes, make them rival partners. I don't care. Like, yes, like I kind of love that the dynamic a little bit. It keeps it fun. But yeah, no, it wasn't for him to say that is just kind of a troll, but whatever.
Such a troll. I'm just like, Wes, you're really laying it on thick. Like,
yeah.
Thick,
I don't know.
thick,
Call
thick.
me crazy, but like, I do kind of feel like he is genuinely upset here.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean, since we saw like his Twitter world in the last week, his wife has been posting things about talking about how his husband is such like an amazing man and that he does everything for his friends for the challenge. And then you have Rachel Robinson piping in saying that he was kind of a jerk to Cara Maria, and then Laurel piping in, and like it kind of got pretty heated between all of them. I think Jemmy also started piping in. I didn't.
But then there was people also talking. There was someone who was like, "This is not my experience with what I don't know." I've seen things on both sides, so yeah. I don't know what else happened that we didn't see or whatever. But I don't know. To bring up the like
20 years
bottle
ago
thing with Cara from all those years ago. Fair. What had happened, it was an atrocity. Like I can't believe he did that.
I was very
the
upset.
amount of horrible things that all of these vets have done in varying degrees is not cute. But I don't know. It's where are we drawing the line? It's I don't know. It's weird that it's being brought up at this moment, but
so Shane actually, I think said it best. Like Shane chimed in and he was like very like blunt, but he basically said, like, my experience with Wes outside of the game has always been great. Like Shane apparently like had gotten like he gotten gay bashed at a bar one night, and Wes saw it happen, and Wes like jumped a fence and like beat the guy up. That was like picking on Shane. And Shane said like he'll always love Wes. Like Wes is like a genuine dude. And then Shane also said, but if I ever play the game with Wes, like he's a snake, I don't trust him. But that's not to say he's a bad guy. And then Shane also said, like all the people that grew up on MTV and have been on the show since like the inception, we've all done shitty things. And like you could look at any of our tape and see like us growing. And Wes included, obviously. It's like if you're on a show when you're 18 years old, you're going to do some stupid shit, especially like back then when it was more like acceptable to be like a complete dickhead. Like Wes, if someone did that now, they would just like get kicked off the show probably.
100%. Or wouldn't be aired.
Yeah. It wouldn't be aired for sure. And they'd get a warning, they'd get a fine or potentially removed. But times were different like 10 years ago when that happened. And I think Shane had a good point. It's like all these people, all these OGs, Laurel included, who was calling out Wes, has had some pretty shitty moments on the show. So
yeah, Laurel, like, come on, Laurel. Like, we all saw the hot tub with Big Easy. Like, we don't need like to chime in that moment. I don't know.
Don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, right?
100%. All these vets living in a glass house, so they should just be like. Like just zip it.
But overall with Wes, I think Wes like is a good guy like at heart. Like obviously I've never met him, but like from what I see, like he seems like a pretty genuine dude. And yeah, in the game I would never trust him, but
no, but like there's also people that I'd play like regular games with, and I'm like, you know what? I will never ever trust you in a game because in a game you're a sneaky sneak. Like remember Jacques, Michelle? Like we're just like, no, we're not. No, like you're out. Like we're not playing with you. I don't trust you. You're out. And like he's a fine and nice person in real life. So we get like I think our first or second Fessy confessional here, because he's talking about how I don't hope anybody's buying any of Wes's speech here, and then Corey also doesn't think that anybody should be buying Wes's speech, but Alyssa does. How do you feel about Fessy finally getting a confessional?
I've been forgetting about him.
Right?
I'm like, bye. Isn't it interesting how the moment he's apparently in a relationship, or I'm not sure, that he's just not in any storylines? Interesting.
Boring.
I loved how Fessy had the confessional, and then like he's like, come on, like nobody's believing this. And then it cuts to Alyssa S. And she's like, oh, like poor Wes. And it's like she's like treating him like the wounded puppy, and like there's like I liked the both sides of it where like I'm sure half the house like does not believe his shit and then half is like sympathizing.
I would probably be working with Wes and I'll just be rolling my eyes and be like, Wes, you're such a loser. Okay, like fine. I wouldn't be buying it, but I would let him do what he's got to do. Also, we never talked to you about this, Matthew. How did you feel about Cassidy feeling as though Wes is targeting her and like they had some sort of one-sided feud, and then in this episode they hug it out, but she's still gonna keep one eye on him?
Well, the thing that I'm really still surprised about, and I think we did talk about it a few weeks ago, but this was a while back, I just don't understand why at this point like Wes hasn't gone to Cassidy, at least on camera, and said like, hey, it wasn't me. The other Survivor girls told me to vote for you. So I thought my whole team was voting that way, which is the truth. I don't know why we haven't seen on camera Wes having that conversation.
Are we maybe not, or maybe they're not allowed to talk about their votes? Like, know how in Big Brother, you're not actually definitively allowed to say who you're nominating or who you're actually going to be voting for? Like, there's no like, you know, definitive moments. So do you think that might be a similar thing, especially since it's on CBS now that they can't get clarification like that?
But Tiffany, when Dusty called out Tiffany said, no, I didn't vote for you. I voted for whoever
Sebastian.
She voted for
For
Sebastian. And she said it straight up. So I don't think that's the case.
Right.
And knowing Wes, like you would think Wes would want to like put that wedge between the Survivor girls. So I am kind of confused. And if he hasn't done so, it's a little strange because you would think he would at least try it at this point.
Well, and maybe he has, and maybe she just like doesn't care,
doesn't believe it, or doesn't care. Because I mean, fact of the matter is, like, Wes only voted Cassidy because Desi
he would have gladly voted for somebody else.
Yeah,
he didn't care.
Yeah.
He didn't care at all. So Chris is actually okay with the fact that he was taken off of blue and put onto green. Now, do you think that was also a strange choice? Like, I thought that maybe just do Sebastian and, like, you know, make sure that you keep all the super. I guess because he voted for Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think like maybe he would rather Chris be in danger of going home than Sebastian.
Right. So Chris, though, he's deciding to use this time on the green team to build relationships, especially with the little mini beef that he had with Tyler and Monty. So I guess it is an opportunity for him to be safe, at least within that group, because they were kind of coming for him. But how do you guys feel about Chris now, though, in general? Are we rooting for him? Do we want to see him again?
I'm not rooting for him, but I don't like hate him, you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty indifferent. Like, I can't tell if I like him in theory, but then like when he has confessionals, he's like kind of boring. Kind of like he is kind of like the dad role, it seems, but like kind of like a boring dad, not a fun dad. But like, yeah, I wouldn't hate it if he won. Like, I think there is like a story there. Like, if he went far, he doesn't seem scared, which I like, but he is a little boring, I gotta say.
Oh, this is a good point. Why have the editors edited out Fessy's fights with Banana and Josh? I don't know, but I've heard.
When did they have fights with them?
I think it was in the first, like when Fessy voted when Fessy voted for Bananas in the first 2 episodes, like against Polly, I think, or whenever it was that Bananas got voted in. There was like in the preview for the season this whole big fight, which is honestly why I took Fessy first round in our draft.
Right.
Because I saw that fight and I'm guessing they're just not going to air it and it doesn't come later. And it was like the same thing that happened in episode like 2 or 3 or whatever. But I don't know why they would not air it.
What do you guys think, though, about Michaela not wanting Wes to stay in the room? He's like, why don't you go downstairs? So I guess it's where all the other vets are sleeping, but he wants to sleep in his room still. And he's kind of sitting there just like a young boy. And Michaela is not giving any ass. Matthew, you'd have some feelings.
Oh my God, I loved it. It was that, to me, that was like one of the funniest moments of the season, where it's just like, Wes, this is where I like actually felt a little bad for Wes. Wes just like, what did I do to you? Like, why are you being so mean to me? And she's like, I'm not being mean to you. She's like, why are you in the room? He's like, what did I do to you? She's like, oh, nothing. Just like go be with your friends. And Wes was just like so confused and sad. But Michaela was so funny and dry with him. I loved it. I thought it was so.
She just amusing. Like she embodies like unbothered. Like she was so unbothered by being questioned by anyone. Doesn't matter what hierarchy is there. Like she's just like, I'm not doing anything. But he's like, what? And she's like, okay. And the same thing later when she gets nominated. She's just like, oh, I love the way she reacts to things. It's so refreshing.
And a lot of people, like, when I did the power rankings, like, I just don't know if it's going to be great for her game necessarily. Like, I don't want her to have to fight the whole time and be nominated and put down there over and over again. And so, like, I don't know if that's the best move for her game necessarily, but entertainment-wise, she's number 1 there for sure.
To be honest, I'm not worried about her game just because, like, now it is, like, 5 survivors, Tori and Alyssa. Like, that's it. Like, there's only 2 non-survivor girls. And I'm guessing moving forward, it's going to be gendered eliminations because, like, we need to lose some guys. So, Michaela might be voted in, like, if the vets win into power.
Most likely come out against most people. It's true.
Yeah, it's like, if she's going to lose to Alyssa or Michelle,
and she's showing herself to be a loyal person. Like it said, so many people said it in this episode. They're like, she's so survivor strong. And like, there's downsides, but there's upsides to the fact that, if Michaela is working with you, she's working with you. And like, you can trust that, it seems. So like, I feel, whereas like we're seeing that the wishy-washiness of Michelle, the like back and forthness, the like more underhanded strategy. So I think she's going to come across as someone that people are going to want to work with because they know that they can trust her word maybe a bit more.
Well, I kind of I know that's not what's going to happen this season at all, but I kind of want Michaela and Wes to be working together because they would be such
I
a
know, it would be
powerful
good.
duo, you know? But Matthew, no, you don't think so?
No, I just don't.
Neither.
I can't see it happening. I think like Wes is just like, I think Wes is shit out of luck this season. It just like does not seem like he is going to be able to escape like the wrath of these survivors, and
Yeah.
because there's so many of them, I don't like, we don't know how the like dailies will work, but like if it's say one male winner, one female winner, then like if Tori doesn't win, like all the women left are going to throw Wes in. I would think so, but we'll see. Like it could be like 3 people win a daily or 4. It could be a group. But
yeah, I'm kind of picturing, I don't know, but like picturing it be male and female partnered up vibes. And then like if it's a guy's day or a girl's day, you know what I mean? And then maybe the girls will have the power or the opposite sex will have the power of who's going to be put in. So maybe, do you think it'll be like maybe there'll be another, what are they called? It starts with the T. The trio of people.
The Troika?
Troika! Maybe we'll have another Troika or something similar.
Yeah.
Michaela wants to make her grandfather proud, and I'm like, that's where I was like, A, I know she's going to be involved in the elimination this episode, but B, I'm wondering if this is them putting in her story arc for her win, right?
Yeah, the thing is, like, we did get that with Desi and Cassidy as well. So
I don't, not as much with Cassidy, but Desi, yes. Cassidy, no.
No, we did with Cassidy's sister.
No, but like it's not the same way for me. Like with like overcoming, like I just felt like Desi was doing it. She didn't feel like good about herself, and that she didn't think that she could do that well, and then she overcame it. And like I guess Cassidy did overcome by winning, but I just didn't have that same like feeling. Maybe I already knew that story about her, but it didn't hit me the same way. But with Michaela, like overcoming, going out first boot, I don't know, it just was still different. But you think that could have been a Cassidy winner arc?
Well, I just think like we got like the emotional content, like if that's what they're going for. But I also just think in general, like CBS like tends to go more like with the emotional stuff. So you get more of like the life back home on CBS, where on MTV it's kind of more fun and games.
Yeah, more like party hookups.
Yeah, so I would imagine, like, if I had to guess, I'd say over the next like few weeks we'll get more emotional content from like the other contestants as well, just to kind of even it out. So I do think Michaela has a very strong chance of winning, but I wouldn't say like necessarily because of that like emotional arc there.
So they're going to play Wreck and Roll for the daily. They're basically in teams of 2, like a male and female from each of the blue teams, in these cage balls. And they have to roll these cage balls to smash down these towers that has their word tile or word tires on top of them. Then after that, the other people that are not in the cages are going to roll these balls to their game board and solve. Kind of like a crossword, but it's like an acrostic crossword, like all words lined up in, how many letters were there? 25? Yeah, 25 letters, 5 words, 10 words. What do you guys think of the daily? Tribunal, yes, another team.
It was I don't know, it didn't thrill me, but
which role would you have done?
Definitely the solving of the words.
So you'd be rolling those tires?
Yeah, I don't want to be in that cage. No.
Matthew, would you be in the cage or be rolling tires?
No, I would not want to be in the cage. I get very claustrophobic, so I would definitely not want to be in that cage. Yeah, still. No, I just like, I don't like to feel like trapped in anything. So yeah, I would definitely not want to do that. I thought the daily was okay. It's like, I also like, I'm not a big fan of dailies where there's like so much you have to like be like paying attention to and like watching like the move. Like I'd rather just see like a straight up like race or like with checkpoints, like a mini final. I like obviously I like trivia. I like more simple things that are a little bit quicker. But one thing I did like about the daily, I thought Monty actually had a really funny line in the daily where he's like, I'm a big dude, Alyssa is a small girl, and like she don't want like 235 pounds on top
I wrote
of her.
that down.
something like that. You can give me the exact quote, I guess.
Well, I give this. Well, no, you did it pretty much the same, but I think she says all of my 235 pounds on top of her, or something like that. And I'm just thinking, like, what a flex. Okay, we know you're a big guy, Monty. Like 235 pounds of muscle, whatever. I just kind of chuckled and rolled my eyes a little bit. That like
I thought it was pretty funny.
Like get that his stat in there, kind of like how Fessy had to get in his stat that he has like a 600 credit score or whatever and 6 figures in his bank account. I was like, okay, whatever, Fessy.
Why are you here then? For the passion.
So the pairs were, like Matthew, you were saying, Monty and Alyssa were in a cage, Tori and Fessel, and Corey and Chanel were the duos in each of these cages. But Blue has a couple extra players, so this was a time where Blue was able to steamroll pretty much because they had more people able to roll these balls, and they were able to solve it seemingly a lot quicker. I want to see a timer though. I want to see how much faster that they were than the other teams, and I would have liked for all the teams to complete it, because if you can't complete it, like, then maybe something should happen there. Like, you know, like, I'm always gonna be a fan of, like, if you suck, you go in, but like,
me too.
I don't know, there should be some sort of penalty if you don't finish this one, you know, a little penalty. So the words they had to solve were grade, loved, among, raise, and ended, and then that cross-hatched glare, Roman, avoid, dense, and edged. So the words weren't very difficult. Michelle was saying that she was really great at words, but Red did not win. Blue won. So we're getting some points over here with Blue winning. So Cassidy, Wes, Bananas, Tori, Fessels, Sebastian, and Dev Z are all safe. And all of us that had those players got 5 points. So that was the daily. Josh, after, wants to put in 2 survivor women, and he wants to make it Chanel versus Michaela. Now, why is he going specifically against 2 strong survivor women? Is it just because they have too much of a voice and like he doesn't want them to call him out at some point? Like, why is he so going strong for these 2 women?
It makes no sense. And like Michaela, like, will call him out for it soon as well. But and Tiffany does as well. It really makes no sense. Like, but it happens every year where like these like men from the challenge want to take out the strong women, not understanding that they might have to run the final with the women. So it's like, what, like you can take Alyssa S to the final, and no offense to Tiffany, who I love, but like they wanted to take her to the final. But what happens when Tori ends up running the final with Bananas and Josh is stuck with Alyssa S? It's like, you got to think, like, if you're Josh and you're not a very strong competitor or not the strongest competitor, don't you want to take out people like Tyler or maybe Chris Underwood or Monty? Like, these people are available to be taken out. So, but it happens every season.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was saying, in my opinion, I think it's because he's also playing scared in a way, because he is so intent upon making sure that it's not even an option for him to go in, like it's not a guy's day at all, that I feel like that also factors into his decision of like, okay, I need it to be a woman, because if it's a woman and someone who's not, that I'm not close with or I'm not in alliance with, that's a double whammy for me, because it means there's no chance. Because I think he's so terrified of having that one vote and then going in and it being more likely to be a guy, that he's not thinking that, because he should be trying to get the Chris's out and etc. Yeah,
and sure. I think also, if he gets all the guys to throw it on Chanel and or Michaela, or no, Chanel, then he will be safe. You're correct. And then I think that the guys think that he's a layup, and so like he might be like, who, like Tyler is like, no, I want Josh, give me Josh. But if they have another plan, like Josh, or Tyler, you're not even going in. Let's put these 2 people off. Maybe it's just to like, you know, smoke screen what's really going on. And yeah, I agree with both of them. Him just being scared in the end.
Exactly.
So they want Tyler as a pawn. Tiffany definitely doesn't want to go in at all. And so we see after, though, Tiffany's kind of feeling inadequate when she's speaking with Chanel and Alyssa. It was a sweet moment when Alyssa seemingly was crying at this point, and she was like, you know, you were voted America's favorite player, and like I just so wanted to meet you, and like I'm sad that Tiffany is like feeling this low, because I do think she does bring something to the challenge. I think that she just is going to have to do like what we say to Anissa, is do some training and just get better at some stuff.
To be honest, like my comparison like for Tiffany would be Anissa. Like she's obviously older, like she's not like physically as fit as like someone like Desi or Tori, obviously, but like she does shine in confessionals, and like she doesn't really like take bullshit. So I do think I'm not the biggest Anissa fan on the MTV version, but I do think like she obviously has a place on the show, and like I really like Tiffany being here for the same purpose. And like regardless, like Tiffany could work out all she wants, like she's probably still not going to win a challenge, unfortunately. But
I mean, I feel like I'm in this like similar shape as Tiffany, and I feel like if I did CrossFit for like 8 months every day for like 3 hours a day and practice swimming, that I could get in enough shape to win.
You also do Pilates already, and you are very strong, so
fair. And I have good balance. I did dance my whole life. But like, I don't know. I still think that she could maybe have a shot, but I just wouldn't be. I don't know if she'd be scrappy enough in like a head-to-head type thing.
Yeah, I mean, like anyone has a shot. It's like it depends on format of like the final too and whatnot. But I definitely like Tiffany much more. I just like would compare their roles on the show. Yeah, and that was a really good moment with. I listened to Tiffany actually on a podcast this week, and she was saying that like her and Alyssa were both like very emotional, which we did see a bit of, and they were both kind of expressing to like other women in the house that they each felt like they were the weakest woman there and that they didn't really belong, which does suck. Like no one wants to feel that way.
And that's also like what I don't like about it moving into this fifth sport category, because what I did enjoy about the challenge in the past, and I think I've said this probably a gazillion times talking to you guys, but like I like that it was just anybody that was on these dumb shows that were coming on and playing these games for a lot of money, and like, but they weren't world-class athletes that are coming on to play. They're just regular folks. And so that's why we got people like Amanda and people, you know, people that just were normal people that had a personality that were entertaining, were playing these game shows. And so I wish that we would go back to that a little bit instead of like it now being like, you know, fifth sport vibes. Because like before, TJ would give props to people that like didn't quit, never back down. But like not because they were an Olympic athlete, it was because like they were just a regular person that was showing so much heart and perseverance. So I don't know, how do you guys feel? Do you want it to kind of go back a little bit more to like regular people playing these games?
I would like that, I think.
Like, come on, they used to do some stupid shit.
I would love it if they just did like you get an elimination one time and it's like we get too many physicals or too many like physical adjacent eliminations. I would love it if they did one of those ones where it's like, all right, who can eat more cookies? Like they did that. Do you remember the one with like
the CT?
Are you the one? No, yeah, well, the CT one
where they were on the treadmill.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Where like the fly swatter one, where they slap each other in the face.
I was gonna say that.
Give me one of those where these people have to do these like ridiculous things that are not physical.
I miss that. I just miss the more lightness about it. And at the time they were playing for BMX bikes that we always joke about, and like season pass to like a hockey season of games, and like a projector. Like they're playing for such like low stakes, and like maybe the final amount was $250,000 for everybody to split on your huge team. And they were ecstatic with that. And so I don't know. I think they need to like maybe relook at the format and who they're casting on the show, because I don't necessarily come here for the athleticism, you know?
Yeah. And the problem is like most of my favorite contestants are people that like realistically like could not win a modern final, which is just so annoying, because then like but now like people are used to that, and like the like Twitterverse and Redditverse, like they shit on people like Amanda and Veronica because they can't win. Big T, like these people get shat on. Like, why are they here if they can't win? And it's like,
Yeah.
you need to understand why they're here. It's because they have personalities. And if we just had 20 Festies on a season,
we would have zero
I
confessionals.
would stop watching, to be honest. It's what keeps me watching are those like 10 personalities. And when they go home, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's fucking annoying. It's not fun.
I totally agree. And Jabril, I totally agree. I can't remember the sports newscaster that coined this first.
Bill
do you remember?
Simmons.
Who was it?
Bill Simmons.
And then I heard Polly start using it. And so I roll my eyes. Well, exactly.
Yeah, we don't need, like, I get it. Like, Casey is very physically strong. Like, Fessy's very physically strong. But, like, you know who else is physically strong? The guy we were just talking about before, Danny McRae, and he has a fucking personality. Like, why can't we get both, or like more personalities to like mix in with the physical?
Exactly.
I guess like they need a new casting people. I elect myself and you two to start casting the show.
Like that's why Wes was good, because Wes was like such a crazy good swimmer and smart, but also had the crazy personality, could play a villain, could play this, could be whatever.
Underdog,
like could do all these things.
I think Kyle is a good casting person.
Yeah.
Like he's good at both.
Oh, he just got engaged. We'll say congratulations to Kyle.
Yeah, I hope Kyle comes back.
I think he will. He's gonna need to make some money for that baby.
Yeah.
Just facts. Facts on facts on facts. So we get to the deliberation, and it was pretty obvious now that blue team has people. Michelle, you're frozen with your eyes rolled. It's really funny right now. / you look possessed. So yeah, now the blue is mostly vet or vet adjacent strong. There's not going to be really any way that Desi or who's the other person that didn't want to vote for?
Sebastian, like, kind of didn't want to.
Well, okay, I'll just say who everybody voted for. So in the end, Bananas voted for Michaela and Tyler. Tori voted for Michaela and Tyler. And Bananas made a joke of being like, it's almost like we didn't talk about this. And it's like, we all know that you talked about it. Sebastian voted for Tiffany and Tyler. I guess he didn't want to do any Survivor people. Cassidy voted for Tiffany and Tyler as well. Desi, Alyssa, and Monty. Fessy voted for Tyler and Michaela. And Wes voted for Michaela and Chris, just to stab it in there a little bit. Patricia said that you were so possessed.
Yeah, cute. I mean,
it was funny. So yeah, there was no real surprises by who voted for whom here. But it's going to be Michaela and Tyler that are at risk of going in. Michaela is laughing about this, kind of annoyed, obviously, not scared, and calls out Josh, who immediately is like backpedaling, being like, I couldn't do it with you. I just, like, we always.
It literally was your plan.
It
was your complete idea. And this is my issue is like, I think he sees it as great gameplay that he then is like, will completely just deny anything. But it's like, no, it's actually more epic for you to be like, hey, you're, like, yeah, I'm so great. Like, if, like, this is the move. This is what I'm doing. Like, I don't know. I just, it was just annoying to me.
Yeah,
I found it so annoying this episode.
Yeah, this is a bad episode for Josh, for sure.
He was up for a bit, because I was like, I thought that his little antics at that deliberation a couple episodes ago was impressive. But he's back to being annoying this episode.
Yeah, I think overall, like, Josh is having like a good season in terms of like,
I don't hate him.
He's set up very well. And like, the truth of the matter is, like, he is getting what he wants like almost every week, but like, you can't, like, he's so defensive and like won't own up to the fact that like he is in like the dominant position. So like, Michaela just had him completely clocked, and he is like that. Yeah, like you said, Michelle, he's backpedaling. He like won't own up to it. And then even after that, like, Michaela calls him out for why it was a bad move. And I agree it was a bad move. But at the end of the day, like, he got his way, so like own up to it. And he just like he got completely shut up by Michaela, and then like and then later on we'll get to it as well. Like he gets into it with Tiffany. He looks like a fool again. So yeah, it's been a strong season for Josh, but this was like a tough look tonight or last week.
Michaela is not pressed at all. She says that she will go to Blue, and taking Tori's spot is what she was planning on doing. I don't know if she said this out loud to them, but she definitely says this in her confessional. But Michaela, like you said, is pointing out all the flaws to this particular strategy, being like, why would the men want to target strong women? It doesn't make any sense. If you're going to run the final, you're going to be running with a strong woman. And so just because she's Survivor strong, Josh does not want her in the game, but it's not actually necessarily the smart move. So we see Chanel talking with, who's she with? Desi, I believe. And there was another person I think there. Chanel's thinking that she's expendable to Michelle and the rest of like the Secret Garden Alliance. And she's wondering, like, why wasn't Michelle's name even at all be tossed out for being a Survivor player? Yeah, why do you guys think that she's not Michelle's skating by?
Well, I mean, she obviously has like more cred in terms of having done multiple seasons. And even though normally she's at the bottom, there's more other people for her to be below her. And she's obviously making side deals and conversations. And that's her style of gameplay. And it's working for her for the first time, because it normally just never works out for her. And she gets screwed, usually, whether it's Jay or whether it's her own backpedaling or bad decision making. So this time her double dipping is working out. But clearly these Survivor other gals are smart. And they're like, hey, we know this is not, something is off here. So it's not going to last. It's not going to last.
Yeah. I'm very, I'd be very worried if I was, like, I am a Michelle fan, like, in life, but in the game, like, if I were a Michelle fan, I'd be very worried, because the Survivor girls are on to her, and she will be the first one that they turn on when they have to. And I just, like, I don't know if Michelle is long for this game. Like, I think she thought she could probably ride this to the final, but I don't see it going that way. I think, like, she's going to get clipped. And if Tori and the
who do you think is going to take her out? Like, if you're going to put on your intuition, like,
well, I would say if
Chanel?
the vets, I'd say Michelle will get thrown in against Tori if I had to guess. If the Survivor girls get power, it's like, well, are we really going to send in Alyssa S against Tori? Or are we going to send in like someone more threatening who's been like playing both sides? And I could see a Michelle Tori elimination.
And also Michelle's more likely to have a chance against Tori depending on what it is, you know?
Yeah. And like, yeah, I could, that's a pretty good, that would be a very, very like, like everyone would be shocked if Michelle got all the balls and like has to go down against Tori. So, okay. So that's what we're playing for. Fun. Hoping. Well, we learned that Michelle is playing for herself, and so that's why, like, she's gonna get clipped for sure. I agree 100%. We get another club night, and apparently they go out to the club every Tuesday and like Thursday. So the fact that this is like only the second one that we're getting, they're just leaving a lot of stuff on the editing floor, it seems. But on this club night, the main contention point is that Wes and Bananas, the drunk uncles, want Alyssa and Tyler to kiss. What do you think about Wes and Bananas wanting to play matchmaker? Matthew,
I think
you love love stories.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was like pretty fun. It was like it was a fun moment. I thought Wes and Bananas were both like pretty funny there, and I actually thought like Tyler like seemed like very like nervous, and obviously like Alyssa was like into it, so I didn't think like too much negative about it. But one thing I was thinking was like, imagine if the roles were reversed and like the rookies had all the power. And they said to Bananas, like, hey, Bananas, unless you make out with this girl, like, on camera, we're going to throw you into elimination. Like, how mad Bananas would be. And, like, obviously he would never do it. But I would just love, like, next season if Bananas has no power for, like, two people to do the same exact thing to him and see what he does.
Well,
Because that would be
speaking
hilarious.
of Bananas making out with people on camera, now, Michelle, I think you were saying that or questioning that maybe there's something going on with Bananas and Tiffany, and you're kind of like, why can't he say Tiffany's name? Now, did you notice when after they finally kissed, Tyler and Alyssa, and the peanut gallery, including Tiffany, was all cheering?
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany was kind of bent over and grinding up against Bananas, like dancing and celebrating, kind of twerking on him a little bit. And I was like, it wasn't like, I mean, maybe she does that with everybody, but like, I don't know, just like getting there and grinding with somebody in that moment. I don't know. It just seemed a little close.
I definitely think there's something that went on. I don't know.
So I do have some information on Tiffany and Bananas, but it's not necessarily what you might be alluding to. I think there was like a bit of a flirtation. So like Tiffany was on the podcast with Tori and Devin last week, and they were talking about like obviously this episode and like the hookup with Tyler and Alyssa. And Devin asked, were there any other hookups on the show? And Tori was like kind of joking around about Tiffany. And it's like, Tiffany, like, do you want to tell the fans what was happening? And it came out that I guess that night, Tiffany and like Bananas were just like dancing, and like Bananas took his shirt off and Tiffany licked his nipple.
Oh.
But
Okay,
I'm
so
pretty sure that was it. That like I don't think anything else happened. According to
Okay.
them, at least.
Okay, fine.
But I will say Bananas on Instagram has been hanging out quite a bit with challenger Raven from last season.
I saw that.
So.
Raven.
Interesting. Is she on 38? She is on 39, right? Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've been hanging out. She like went to his new gym or something, and she had gone to visit.
I saw that.
Interesting. I didn't see that, but I will take a look now. So there wasn't. Oh, so yeah, it was a whole save me thing with Tyler, and so he does go and say save me, and that means that Alyssa's going to kiss him, and he's going to be saved now. We do see them back at the house making out in the bed, and so officially their showmance has begun. Actually, earlier on in the episode, they were talking about their own personal showmances that they had on their previous seasons of Big Brother. And I do want to say that a lot of people are wondering, like, what happened with Tyler and, oh my God, I just forgot her name. Angela. And it seems like they were on good terms because when she came home to surprise, I believe it was her father for his 70th birthday, Tyler was at the house. And so he was in the video. And so, you know, I think he has a close relationship with the family, still probably cordial with her. And so I did want to point that out. Some people think that she looks a lot like Angela. Do you guys still think that? Now that you see Angela and her kind of side by side in an episode? I
see the similarity. I don't think like they're like twinning or anything, but I definitely see like some similarity there.
A little bit. I don't really actually. I guess because I like Angela so much more than I like Alyssa, even though I like Alyssa the most that I've ever liked her.
Same, but I don't love.
I think Alyssa is like a pleasant surprise this season, but like definitely not someone that's like at the top of my list.
That would be a dream, Jabril. I would love to see Tyler and Angela on X's 3.
Oh yeah.
I don't really want to see Tyler again. Like Angela, I'd welcome back, but I don't know.
But he might get hot and heated, like with his like ex.
Yeah, Tyler doesn't really do anything for me either. I don't know.
I find him boring. Just I liked him in his first season, but like him on All Stars just ruined it for me. And this season,
he should have just worked with Janelle. He ruined his status. All right, so we are going to get to the elimination, and we're going to see how many votes people received in the secret vote. So Tiffany gets 2 votes. Monty, 1. Alyssa S, 1. Josh, 1. Corey, 1. Chanel, 4. So it seems like 4 votes. That's pretty close. The
So,
hopper goes actually.
One thing I want to say. So Josh got the one vote. This was another like bad moment for Josh here, where Josh got one vote, and he's like, and I looked over at Chanel, and I could tell she was the one that voted for me. I'm like, dude, you voted for her, and you planned for everyone to vote for her. Why are you mad at her?
Yeah.
He got mad at her for one vote on him. I don't even know if it was her that put the vote. I guess it was, but he was so upset about it in the confessional. Meanwhile, like his whole plan that actually was orchestrated and like it didn't pan out, but he got 4 votes on Chanel and he got mad at her for putting one vote on him.
But this is exactly what I'm saying of like, he's so focused on just not even being a chance to go into the elimination that he is so blinded by that. And it's his classic hypocrisy. He's always a hypocrite. Like when it comes to this kind of stuff. Why are you so pressed? Like she got 4 votes on her and you planned it all. Like,
and then in the end, out of the hopper comes one ball, and that one ball is not Chanel's ball. It's not a male ball. It's Tiffany's ball. So Tiffany is going to be playing against Michaela. Womp womp. Like, I mean, I don't want necessarily either Michaela or Chanel to go home, but like it's just so uneven of a matchup that I'm just like, oh, that kind of blows for Tiffany. It's just her chances of staying longer, you know?
Yeah, but I was actually kind of happy just that it wasn't another Survivor person, just because like I like that their plans just aren't panning out every time. It's kind of funny to me.
And Matthew, I'm sure that you enjoyed Tiffany going off on Josh. Well, she was going off on everybody, and Josh kind of took upon himself to be offended the most.
Why does he always have to do that? Anyways.
Willie also loved it how Tiffany called out Josh, and Josh was mad when Tiffany called out the men because they didn't want to go into elimination, and he was one of them. Yeah, it's so soft energy. It's giving soft. Real soft. Yeah. Agreed, Flux. Josh has targeted all the women. It's strange why he doesn't really pop off to anybody else, but like these women.
I feel like Josh is like a fairly good, like strategic and social player, but like his long game has some issues because like realistically, what is Josh's plan to win this season? Like who does he want to go to the end with? And who does he think he can beat? Because
I think at this point he knows his role, and his role is to get the faves to the end. And I think that him getting called back is what he's playing for. It's kind of like an Amanda vibe. Like Amanda just wants to be called back to get that nice fat paycheck to make an appearance fee and then her weekly stipend or whatever, and go home whenever she goes home. I don't know if he's there thinking that he can actually win.
But at the same time, I feel like with all his workout videos and stuff lately, that maybe he thinks that he does have a chance.
I think he thinks he can win.
Yeah, I truly think he's a little deluded, and also probably thinks like, okay, someone else can take out like Fessel or whatever right at the end, or like he probably doesn't want to go against Bananas, Wes, or Fessy or whatever, but like is kind of like, okay, well, I still want them around. And then maybe if I go against like Corey, well, I could probably maybe be smarter than him. Like, you know, and like, maybe I could get around that. And then if I could have Sebastian there and maybe like someone like Chris, at least he's less experienced.
So you're thinking that maybe he secretly he got like jacked and that he thinks that he can actually beat people and people still think that he sucks. Okay, maybe.
Yeah. I think what I think needs to happen is like Josh needs to make a final and just get absolutely destroyed in it. And then I could see him coming back the next season being like, hey, like, I can't go to the end with Bananas, Corey, and Fessy, or Bananas, Wes, and Fessy. I'll never win. So, like, I have to make moves that benefit me. But, like, sometimes it takes losing to know what you have to do. And he's never made the final. So.
Right. So he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, he needs to know. Yeah. He needs to experience it.
So Jessica here is saying that Josh is the definition of the saying, a hit dog will holler. Absolutely. Like a little nip, and he's just like, oh, like he just has to yell all over the place. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us. So, okay. Hey, show up. So Josh never targets the actual physical threats who will beat him because they're all his friends, and that's why he will never win. Unless what happens is like what you're suggesting, Matthew, is he gets to the final, loses, and comes back with a vengeance.
He's kind of like the poor man's Leroy, where like Leroy was just like friends with all the like competitive people, but like I think Leroy like could win a final. I don't know if Josh could win one, but I feel like Josh is like taking that kind of role on the show where he's like the right hand man to like people like Bananas and Tori, same way Leroy always was. But Leroy was just like a better competitor.
So Chris can't see long has to go house hunting, would want to show us some love over here and is asking everybody to get some likes on the video. So please like this video because I don't know, it's fun to like it, supports the channel, and it's free. So they're going to be playing top heavy, which was a kind of a unique elimination where they're kind of all strapped to a pole, both strapped to their own pole. They kind of have to rock it from side to side and lean it far enough one way to be able to grab a ball and then sink it into a basket. Now, Michaela was like, oh, basketball. And so TJ was immediately thinking that she was good at basketball. She was kind of saying that she's not sure. We'll soon find out. But Tiffany didn't seem like this was going to be her challenge. How do you guys feel about this elimination?
I actually liked it. Obviously, like, it didn't turn out to be fun to watch because it was such a blowout. But I think, like, if you get two people that are good at it, like, this could have been like very intense to watch. But it seems like Michaela just like obviously Tiffany was not good, but it seemed like Michaela just like made light work of it as well.
Well, Tiffany at least got one ball. I don't like Tori kind of clowning Tiffany in the confessional, being like we just want you to like get one ball, like please, like cause like she's like the best athlete on the planet. I'm just like, oh my gosh, we don't even know if you'd be good at that, Tori. Like you might not be. Have we seen Tori throw things into targets?
We saw, well, she did lose that one against Anissa where she had to throw balls at targets, but it was a little different. I think there was like a puzzle involved or something.
Oh, they started with a slide puzzle, I think, and then it unlocked their ball. Was it
or you had to like pull like heavy weights. But I don't know. Tori only gets physical eliminations, really. Like she had the one last season where it was the puzzle, but like she was with Devin, who is like unbeatable at puzzles.
Davu said they used to say Devin could never win a final, so there's hope for Josh.
I don't know about that.
Not sure. Not so sure. Well, Michaela does end up winning 10-1, and Tiff is going to be leaving. But I have to say that TJ was very plussed, I would say, on Tiffany. He says, I'm proud of you, Tiffany. Good job. And, you know, Tiffany gets hugs from Chanel and Desi and leaves. How do you feel about TJ's accolades for Tiffany?
I liked it because, I mean, he's just acknowledging that, like, she is a character that we love. And she tried, and she brought the drama with the fight with Josh, which was totally instigated by Josh. She was making a comment to everyone. Just let her make
all
her
the
comment.
Guys being like, oh, it's all the women that just keep up having to go down.
Like she's about to go into elimination. Allow her to say her thing. She didn't call anyone out specifically. She was like, wow, you're all doing this. And then he has to say, I don't appreciate that. I've been supporting you.
See your true colors.
But you know that Tiffany is close with the people that you were actively putting in as well. Like, don't stop taking this high horse that doesn't exist for you. Like, I don't understand why he's doing that. So she's a queen.
Joanne is correct. Joanne needs to see Tori in something that's not physical. She thinks she's all bad. Exactly. I need to see her. Oh, I need to see her go out. Who did we say wanted to go up against? Michelle. And Michelle beats her because it's something that's not purely physical. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned this like every season at least one time, or like every few weeks that we talk, but this always bugs me about the challenge. And it's like, just to go back, and I'm sorry for repeating myself, but that elimination where Tori went against Amanda and Devin went against Emmanuel, I'll never get over how annoying that was, where Amanda calls out Tori to go in. Emmanuel calls out Devin. It's like, surprise, surprise. Amanda and Tori, you get balls in. And Devin and Emmanuel, you get a puzzle. It's like, why are the two women getting the physical right at the very end when it's Tori? And the two men are getting the puzzle when it's Devin? So, yeah, give Tori something not physical. And let's see if she can win it. And if she does, like, respect to her.
So Taj, you were saying that on the official podcast, Tiffany said that she almost quit the elimination because she's afraid of heights. So I think that's why TJ gave her a nod for at least trying. Wow.
Yeah. Do you think Tiffany will be back? Like, obviously,
Yes.
she's not going to go on MTV. But
I don't think that I don't remember she had like her mobile blood thing, but I think that operates on its own. And so I think that she's enjoying living the podcasting and going on shows life. Like,
yeah.
If I could make $100,000 or so doing that, like, I'm in. Like,
yeah, I could see, like, if they do a USA 3, which I feel like they probably will, like, I could definitely see her coming back. I think, like, I'd love to see Tiffany on, like, Traders or, one of these other shows that's, like, more her speed. Like, obviously, like, if they do another Big Brother All-Stars, like, I'd love to see Tiffany there, Survivor. I definitely don't think she's made for, like, the MTV version, but I think, like, USA 3, like, there's a place for her, for sure.
Debu says she got purged on World of Worlds too because she couldn't do the puzzle. Yeah, that was. I think I was actually still even rooting for her on that season because I liked when she defected onto Team UK. So I was upset for her that she couldn't. I was like, come on, you can do it, and she let me down. So she hasn't won me back yet at all. Well, that's almost the end of the episode. And then Michaela, there's this whole moment with TJ where he alludes to the regular format that we were used to, where the person that wins the elimination gets to choose what team that they want to go back to, whether it's their original team or defect to one of the other teams. So Michaela says she has a lot of thinking to do. And then TJ basically says, no, you don't. Go back to your own team. Well, how do you guys feel about that? Like, finally, Michaela has the opportunity to go in, take Tori out of her cushy spot on blue, stick her on green, and let her have to do some work at this point. How'd you guys feel?
I felt like it was. I was like, oh, that sucks. But then I was like, oh, this means that the teams are over. Great. I'm done with the teams. I prefer when there's no teams, personally.
You agree, Matthew?
Yeah, I prefer no teams. It's just like, funny timing where, like, Michaela's gonna put Tori in danger, and like, realistically, like, Tori would have, like, gone into the next elimination most likely, and, like, not to say she won't now, because I definitely can see a situation where the vets are in, like, a little bit of trouble here, but the fact that it was, like, a clear, like, I'm coming for Tori and, like, gonna put her in danger, and it's like, oh, we're switching the format. It is what it is, but I am happy overall.
I'm happy the format's changed. It sucks that Michaela didn't get to make this move.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the moment.
I would have loved to see the moment. I would have loved to see Blue winning again and Tori being scared. Like, it would have been really fun. Hopefully, everybody going back to original, or to speaking of individual game, will be great. Because, like, Tori won't really be able to hide as easily, but, like, she thinks she could back it up with her, like, strength and elimination. So we'll see. Yeah. Now, was there anything else that happened in the episode that you guys wanted to talk about?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens now. Yeah. I hope they still get to privately vote.
Yeah, I think they will still get to the secret vote. I think is still there. Do we have an MVP and or MEP?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. It's got to be Michaela.
Yeah.
One thing I am very excited for is I do want to see how the daily works, where we'll see how many people get power and how the voting will change. The people that I'm keeping a close eye on right now, I really think Michelle and Wes are in a lot of danger. I somehow feel like Banana's target has shrunk a little bit.
Yeah, he's invisible.
Yeah, so I really think Wes and Michelle are gonna become the big targets moving forward. Wes already was, but that scene with Chanel and Desi talking about Michelle, I think that's foreshadowing the next couple weeks. And I think, yeah, next female elimination, I'm keeping my eye out for Michelle. I think she's in big trouble.
I mean, at least we'll get to see her squirming and try to do stuff. That's one thing that you can get with Michelle, is that she's not going to just sit back and allow herself to be she's going to do some work. She's going to try to get herself out of it. It probably won't work, but at least we get to watch her kind of scramble a little bit and go a little bit cray-cray.
Yeah, so who are your, now that we're at the halfway point in the game, who's your winner picks?
Like for who I want to win or who I think is going to win?
No, who do you think will win?
I think I'm still feeling Desi. She had like the emotional moment that we were talking about before. She's also someone that seemingly everyone is fearing. Nobody really wants to go down against her in anything. And so I think that she's just been a little bit more quiet lately and allowing all the other people to take a little bit of the spotlight. So as much as I was talking earlier about like Michaela maybe could win. That's more just like I would like that to happen. I just feel like it's going to be a harder road just for the fact that she's so vocal that people are going to try hard to get her out. And if she goes down too often, she might not come back out. So right now for the women, I think Desi. What do you guys think for the women?
I'm going to say Michaela.
Just for fun.
Yeah, no, I actually I do think she's in a good spot. Like, I'm not that worried about her position because the Survivor girls, I think people are going to be scared to throw her in. And at this point, like, there's only 7 women left. So what, she's going to have to fade like 2 eliminations and like assuming 5 make the final. Like, even if she ends up in one of the 2, like, I like her odds of winning it. And
Me too.
I think she's smart. I think she's got the endurance. Like Desi, like would be great. I think she's got a shot. Like Tori obviously has a shot.
So coming back from like that last season with Enzo, like it would just be a really good
I would love for Desi to get it because of what happened last season. She really did not get the opportunity. That said, we all know what happened with the end of the final anyway. So who knows?
I don't think she would have ever quit. I think she would have gone through it.
No, I don't think she would have quit. Yeah, she probably would have won instead of Sarah in that case. But like, I would love for her to have that win, but I also just like, I would say I'm rooting more for Michaela just because I just love Michaela. And Michaela, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to like eating gross shit or doing the weird shit, Michaela is just going to go ham. That said, Desi is so strong and so capable and smart. And, I want both of them in the final and like first and second place. Like, let's do, like I want them both to do well.
Dabu's mentally preparing for the worst Tori banana win. On my draft team, I did draft them. So like, I want them for like the points, but like, okay, male wise, who do you think is going to win for the men?
I honestly have no clue for the men. Like, it feels like such a weird
Is it Fessy? Because we just don't see him at all, but he's just going to like win.
Part of me thinks
Maybe.
Tori. I just think I think he's very well set up, and like I think like he's the safest person. Like nobody's talking about him. I do think like he is like capable. They did mention him
today though, or this episode, saying that where was it? That him and Josh weren't saying are names that people are not saying in as potential people to be the vote. So
yeah,
they're blocking him.
Yeah, but that was weird to me because why were they? Like Corey is a vet, so like why would they think the vets would not be including Corey? But also like in that conversation when they did clock Corey, they basically said like, yeah, I'm not surprised about Josh, but like Michelle surprises me. They didn't really like acknowledge Corey after like just bringing up his name. I think we're getting like just enough from Corey that he could be the winner, and I feel like the final will be like maybe a little bit different than season 1, but if it is a season 1 type final, I do think Corey could win that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't super difficult.
I would be happy for him to finally get a win after all this time, but I can't imagine that road at the same time. But I'm like, I also can. So
I just don't know, like who is throwing Corey into an elimination over? Like the vets are going to throw in like Chris and Tyler and Monty, and then the rookies are going to throw in Wes and Bananas and maybe Fessy.
Josh.
Yeah, I feel like Josh is like pretty safe as well, but like I just can't see Josh winning. Now, like I'm sure like at some point like Corey or Josh will like have to go into an elimination. I just have a little more faith in Corey.
Mm-hmm.
So Jess here is saying Fessy will also get a pass to the finals and then come in fourth again. I could see that, but I do feel that unless it's against Bananas and maybe Corey, I think that he has a decent chance of winning.
Yeah.
So he kind of has to, and Wes and Bananas have to get out of there for Fessy to have a decent shot at winning.
Yeah, I think if Wes makes the final, he'll win. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be a really tough road for like he's gonna have to win like 2 more eliminations to make it.
Possibly, unless he wins all the dailies, which is possible.
Sure.
They're all pretty good at dailings. As long as there's no eating, that's true. Fessy can't eat.
So who do you guys have for the men?
I'm thinking that Fessy, it might be his season. I've been thinking about
I'm going to say Corey. I'm going to say Corey. Yeah.
So we're all on
Am I
like
streaming
some
at 11?
Yeah.
Of Corey, Fessy, Desi, Michaela. Like we each have 2 of those 4 people.
11 today or tomorrow at 11. I'm doing the update, live feed update.
You are tomorrow?
I know. I have to go and like watch some feeds. I haven't watched enough feeds yet today.
I love when you're on the update. Yay!
Yay! No, I'm not streaming again, but we will go probably 11 on Thursday. We'll probably go live again, most likely after the episode, if that works for both of my friends here. Okay, so now that we know that, I think it's going to be Desi and Fessy. Matthew, you think it's going to be Michaela and Corey, and Michelle, you're also Michaela and Corey.
Yeah.
Okay, we put those into the predictions. We'll see what happens soon. So the points that are going to be given out this round were 10 points to whoever has Michaela. That was you, right, Michelle? Oh, we didn't do a most entertaining player. Are we going to give that to Tiffany?
I think it was also Michaela.
Giving points both to Michaela, or do we have a second person, or just a 1 point set?
Like if you're gonna pick someone else, you could pick Tiffany for sure. She was still entertaining, but Michaela, I feel like, was the most entertaining. You know, but I could give some to Tiffany. Why not?
Matthew, any thoughts?
Like to me, like this was just Michaela's episode, but like yeah, Tiffany like would be second for me. I'll give like a little bit of a shout out to Alyssa S, like because she doesn't get much love, but like. I do think like she had a pretty good episode, and like I do like to see like the emotional side of her as well. And obviously she hooked up, so there was those points.
Oh, hookup points! Yeah, forgot about that. So okay, MEP is going to be Tiffany, and hookup points are for Alyssa and Tyler. Do I have both those people? Do you have that, Alyssa? I can't remember.
I think I have Alyssa, and you have Tyler.
Oh.
No, I have Alyssa S. She was the last pick of the draft, but look at her. Look at her go. She made it to episode 8.
It's pretty good.
Probably make it to episode 9, assuming next week's a male elimination.
Yeah,
so she's
probably.
She's doing it.
We have to have like 2 male eliminations in a row, don't we?
Yeah. How could this be 10 episodes if next week is episode 8? There's way too many people left. There's gonna have to be a double and
maybe like a long episode.
Yeah. I actually hope it's 12. I'm liking this season. I hope they have a couple more episodes.
Alyssa's going to only give you hookup points. She was also on Blue for quite a while, so she gave us quite a few points there.
Yeah, she definitely won't be getting an elimination. I don't think she could win any elimination against any of these women left.
You don't think she could have won that basketball one against Tiffany?
No, yeah, well, that one she probably could have against Tiffany, but of the women left now, like, is she going to beat any of them in anything? I really doubt it.
Maybe a 2-hour final, so that could be like, there could be like 8 people left in this like purge final.
Isn't there like 20 people left right now, though?
I don't know.
There's a lot of people left.
Thank you both
20,
for chatting with me. That we did talk about everything, right? Yeah, I think we got it. Well, thanks everybody here in the chat for being here live. Please like the video just to bump up that YouTube algorithm thing. Are you guys working on anything that you'd like to share with the peoples?
I'm leaving Newfoundland finally after next week. So I'll be back in the city with Wi-Fi that doesn't crap out every 2 seconds. So I'm really excited about that.
Woo! Matthew, anything going on?
No, nothing really. I do have to say, like, if anyone is a Love Island fan and didn't watch this season, this was an incredible season of Love Island. So
pretty good.
It was my favorite season I ever watched, and I just thought it was like entertaining from start to finish. So I'm like on a high from that and like leading up. So yeah, I'm just like
to the Love Island games. You're just excited for that.
Yeah, I just can't stop thinking about this past season. Like it's been like a week and a half since.
Well, with the whole like KK drama right now.
Oh, I feel bad for her, to be honest. But she's a little
Love
mind
struck.
fucked right now.
Yeah, she's a little digmatized. Whoa. Matthew, what are you saying here? Oh my God, Melissa beating in a puzzle would kill me.
Yeah, Willie wrote, I want to see Alyssa beat Tori in a puzzle. And like, if that happened, I would die. And like, the embarrassment Tori would feel losing to Alyssa S in an elimination.
Oh, hilarious. Well, thank you guys both for being here. Please, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, like this video like I've asked before, and leave our comments as to who you really want to see win this season. Give us your male pick and your female pick and your reasons why any of us are wrong with our decisions here, and we'll continue this conversation in the comments below. Other than that, we'll see you Thursday sometime.